All right, welcome to my 9 p.m. show. And if you are watching me live, why didn't you say a hello to me? And this is the week of learning to handle failure. We have already completed, I think this today Thursday, so we have completed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the fourth talk in this series. And if you have been watching it regularly, great. If you want to watch any of this by Tuesday, it will be unlisted from my YouTube channel. So if you want to use it, you can use it right now. For next 3 days, it will be there. After this, it will be removed from the for the viewing, so you can watch it. So let me just recap what we have covered until this point. So what I've covered at the first session was definition of failure. That was what we covered on Monday. Now, why did I cover with the definition of failure part? Because whatever is our perception towards failure will decide our reaction towards failure, and that decision is what will create certain emotions, and emotion will create motion. That's what Tony Robbins always say, and I've been following him big time for more than 10 years now. So what we'll do, let's talk in that. I covered what failure is not, why people have this mindset. So what I started was that failure people think is avoidable. That is why they feel embarrassed anytime they fail. They want to hide, they want to cover up, and it doesn't work. If you have a right perception, if you have right paradigm that failing is part of the journey, then you will never have a problem and you will enjoy life. Second point I covered on Monday was that failure is not an event. Anybody who fails anywhere in life, it is a process. Just like success is a process, failure is also a process. That's what I covered. Second point, second myth about failure which people carry. Third one is failure is not objective, it is a subjective thing. You decide what is failure, and I gave a couple of examples, so I'll not go through it today. Then fourth point I covered was that failure people assume is a curse, whereas it is not a curse, it's a blessing actually. Any time I have failed in my life, if I have any decent success today, I would give all the credit to only my failures in life. If I would not have failed, I would not have learned lessons. And without those lessons, I would not have got the maturity. That's what I covered. Then I said, people think failure is irreversible, which is not. Even if you have failed in life, you can always reverse it. It's okay, you have failed. You are the person who has failed. You have messed up, and we can repair back. There's always the possibility that we can recover. So it's okay. Today, you might be the worst failure in the world. Great. Let's bounce back. Then sixth point I covered on Monday was that failure is not a stigma. It is not a COVID-19. Okay, it's not that you have to hide it or you have to run away from it. It's okay. Let it come into your home. How does it matter? And finally, failure is not final. So that's what we covered on Monday. And if you're watching me live, why don't you say hello? Let me talk for some time before I go for the today's talk. If you are available, say me hello, which city you are logging in from and which part of the world you are logging in from. And if you're watching it later on in recording, say me hello, so I'll know who all were there with me when I was covering this topic. So that's what I covered on Monday. Then what we covered on Tuesday was 7 abilities needed to fail forward. Somebody who is an achiever, they have 7 unique strengths, and those I covered on Tuesday. What I covered there? Achievers reject rejections. Now, rejection is something which is very painful. So people want to avoid it. At any cost, they want to avoid rejections. But those who achieve something in life, they reject the rejection part itself. Okay. Second thing, those who achieve anything which is significant, they see failure as temporary. So I see Mohammed Sahid, he's from Bangalore. Good, welcome Sahid. So those who see, they see failure as temporary. Then I see achievers see failure as an isolated incident. In that I covered, right? I might be failure in certain areas of my life. That doesn't mean that I am a failure in my life. It means in this area I am right now struggling. Later on, I can always work on it and improve it. That is what it means, basically. Then I covered achievers keep expectations realistic. What I mean by expectation realistic is, I mean, we all want things now, isn't it? You want to become successful now. But to become successful now, you have to do something in the past. All right, that's what you have to do. And then I said that achievers keep varying their approach. And I covered that example, right? Fail, you'll succeed. It's a misconception. Fail, stop for some time, take a feedback, understand why you failed, again attempt, again you fail, but this time you'll fail with less margin, again evaluate, again correct, again fail, evaluate, change, correct, fail, evaluate, change, correct, fail, evaluate, change, correct, and then fail. You do it for 6 to 7 attempts, you will see finally you will reach the destination. That is the nature's law. You cannot stop it. And that same thing. And finally, I covered that achievers bounce back. So this is what I covered on Tuesday. Yesterday, I covered a very interesting thing. I see if I can share with you. It was an amazing thing I shared. Let me see if I can share a screen with you. All right. So let me share the screen if it is possible. Then let me share the screen. I'll show you something very interesting right now. This can help you. All right. So let me show the screen. This is what I was covering yesterday. So I created a flowchart for all of you to understand. So this, if you can see right now, let me share with you what I was saying. So yesterday I covered this 6-step cycle of failure. Right. What I covered was that this is a typical fear cycle. First, you will fail. That is natural, right? I mean, you cannot succeed without failing. That's why I covered this fear cycle. Once you fail, what happens? There are people who will say, I told you it will not work. They'll come and they will hurt you. They will attack on you. They will do whatever they can do to make sure they humiliate you. And if you're an emotional person and you don't understand this is a game rather than taking it too seriously, and if you become emotional about it, you will get into doubt and dilemma. That's what I covered the second phase, doubt and dilemma phase, okay? And anytime you get into doubt and dilemma, your brain starts searching for evidence. See this, the fifth step you'll go into doubt and dilemma is you start looking for evidence. The evidence that what you have been doing or thinking is wrong. Actually, brain is very awesome, you know. It can give you any evidence you want. It can prove you. If you're searching for, okay, can I become successful? Then your brain will look for success episodes in your life, okay? If you are doubting, man, can I succeed? I can fail. Then your brain will look for failure episodes in life. Oh, where have you failed? So that's the basic idea I covered on that day. After evidence collection, based on what evidence you want, you will either confirm a failure or you will confirm a success. So that's the cycle I covered yesterday, fear cycle. And till this point, if you have missed any of the episode, nothing to worry. All of these recordings are available on the YouTube. So far so good. Till Tuesday, I will keep it on YouTube. So if you want to watch you can watch the entire series before it is taken away from the self. And today I will cover how do you come out of this failure freeway. Okay, and I'll put it very simple. I'll keep it as simple as possible. In 15 minutes we'll cover. And in the end, if you have some questions in your mind, I would like to have 5 to 10 minutes of question answer session. I would love to talk to you basically as much as possible in a virtual world. So let me start with the basic practical example. 2005, I was in IIT Madras, and there was a subject which I took. It was in computer aided design, CAD. I mean, basically, it was into VLSI domain, and where you can use this CAD, and it was very famous. There was a very renowned professor in IIT Madras, Kamakoti, and he was a guy who was very popular because of the obvious subject. So I went there. I remember in one of the classes, he was, I don't know, he was in a good mood or bad mood, God knows. He came up with the statement, you guys are wasting your potential by looking for a job. And we started laughing. So typically understand. We are just, most of the people are, what are they looking? Somehow to get into blue chip job, get into a good job, any the company. And Kamakoti comes and says that you guys are wasting your time, potential, energy to get into job. And you know what the company will do you? I said, what they'll do? They will make you lazy. They will take away potential. First 2 to 3 years, you will get a lot of salary without working. And then 2 to 3 years later, you will become lazy. You will lose your agility. You will lose your charm. And after that, company will start increasing workload on you. And slowly, you'll be trapped in this life. And you are laughing at like a crazy speed. In our dining table mess, we are only discussing when Kamakoti is gone mad. We are looking for job. And this guy is putting down our job. He is a horrible guy. And that's what our discussion pattern used to be in our mess. Now, to be honest, I could not understand. And then one day, after coming back to Bangalore, I was in this Bannerghatta Zoo. And in Bannerghatta Zoo, you see some lions are also there, right? You go to this typical jungle safari, you go to lion also, you will see tiger also, safari and all. I went there and my curiosity was, how come a tiger sort of thing, which is so agile, how is it sitting quietly in a jungle? Then slowly I got more curious to understand what happens. So typically what happens is, initially when you capture a tiger or a lion, he's very ferocious. He just want to kill you. He will be doing a lot of circus around it to come out of it. But slowly what happens, this zookeeper, they start feeding him. And tiger says, man, without any hard work, I'm getting my meat. Why should I jump? Slowly, in some months, tiger becomes lazy. And he is conditioned. Now, even if you try to remove him, he will not go because he's getting food free of cost. This was one analogy. Another analogy I found that in the same zoo, I've seen some elephants and all. They keep it, and I was always surprised, man, how come they keep an elephant with a tie in that circus you see, right? They tie an elephant with a small rope, and I said, man, this rope elephant can break it anytime he want. How come the elephant is not breaking a rope? And again, I got curious, what is happening? And after doing some little bit research, I realized what happens is a conditioning in their mind. So when an elephant is a small child, that point in time, they tie it with a tight rope, and whenever the elephant is trying to come out of it, he gets a pain. So he started realizing that whenever I go, there is a pain. That means this rope will unnecessary. If I'm pulling, it is creating pain in my life. Slowly, slowly, the rope is still the same. The elephant has grown up, and now the elephant's strength is much more higher than the rope. But elephant do not approach to break the rope anymore. Think upon it. Is it not most of us are stuck in our life with, we all, while growing up in your life, if you're left college right now and you're in a career, it is impossible that you have not gone through failures. If you have not gone through it, I would say, good, great, congratulations. But somewhere life will hit you. That's for sure. Now, I'm not blessing it. I mean, nature's law is something wrong, always happens. So once it happens, are we prepared is the question mark. And if you've already gone through it, just like I have gone through it, my life is a full episode of failures with 10% success only in my life. My life is 90% failures. With that 10% success, I'm quite happy in my life that this 10% success God has given me, which is more than enough, which has compensated my 90% failures. So what I'm trying to give you, all of us get into this rut. So when you get into this rut, I'll talk about this. It's a very interesting line I read somewhere. If you always do what you have always done, then you will always get what you've always gotten. I don't know who wrote it. Some said it is Einstein wrote it, some said Newton wrote it. Whoever wrote it, I like this line. So it is not mine by this, so I'll not take any credit. This line is very interesting. You can write it down. I'll speak very slowly. If you always do what you have always done, you will always get what you have always gotten. Such a simple line. So let's face it, people are prone to ruts. We all are prone to ruts. And once this conditioning is done with us, how it happens? I'll tell you today 7 steps, basically 7 steps of coming out of this loop. So now assume you are into this failure loop. Whatever happens. So first what happens is, it starts with some fault or some error. Yesterday I told, right, you attempt, you'll do an error. So naturally what we do, I'll tell you. So when I was doing some mistake, it's a human tendency that first thing we want to do is we don't want people to see our failure. We don't want even people to know that we are failing, right? So that's our natural tendency. So if I see some of them are live right now, we see 30-40 people live. So let me talk before I go into the topic. So I see Abdul is there from Calcutta. Anybody else is there? So if you're there, why don't you guys say hello to me? I would like to talk to you before we get into our discussion further. I'll take 10 more minutes. So if you're there, why don't you talk? I'll take a break in between again before I go. So I'll start with it again. So what we did was, so first we start with a mess up, right? We all do some error. The moment we do some error, our natural tendency is we do not want people to see that we have failed, right? That's how we want to hide. We want to show people that we are flawless, isn't it? So typically what happens, if somebody come to know about our failure, about our mistake, our natural tendency is to attack, just go and attack them. I mean, no, it's not my fault. This is not, you don't understand my circumstances because of this, because of that, blah, 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 blah. It happens, right? Our first natural tendency is to attack. Check it out. If you observe, if you have some experience of parenting, I'm blessed to have 2 boys and all energetic boys. One of my son is 11-year-old right now, and the moment he does some error, his first tendency is to shout. I mean, come on, you've done an error. On top of it, shouting. Actually, it's a human tendency. So I'll tell you the 7-step loop where you'll get stuck actually. So first you'll mess up, and after the mess up, you will actually attack on people. It happens. I have done it myself. So I'll not say it's my son. I have done it myself. Not at the age of 10. At the age of 35, I have done these errors. And I'm embarrassed to say that. We have also done it. We are all human beings. I mean, I have done it. So I'll not say that I have not done it. I am the person who has done it myself. So first we mess up. Then we end up blowing up. We attack on the person who's tried to correct us or who tried to show us our fault. The moment they try to show us our fault, we think they're the enemy. Let us take a gun and shoot them. That's what we feel like. And that's the reason we are not able to get maximum mileage out of failure. Third step, what happens typically? So after blowing up, what will you do? Okay, now cover it up. Let's wrap it up. Let's see. Nobody should see our failures. Nobody should know that we have failed. And it's like going to a rabbit hole. The more you get into it, the more and more you're inside that rabbit hole. So then we cover it up. We all do it. And trust me, it's the entire cycle. We all can see in our career we have done it. So then we cover it up. And after covering up, what will happen? You want to speed up. I'll give you a live example. So I'll give you a practical example of traffic signal. And if you, before pandemic, not now, now at least with God blessing, traffic is very less and Google Map works proper. I'm talking about 2016-17. Okay, that point in time, traffic in Bangalore was huge. I mean, huge. And Google Map was also not that strong, and the GPS signals were not working that perfectly. So many times, mobile will get freezed and signals cannot come. And my typical two errors which I have always faced. Number one, while riding, somehow I don't know, my wife sees below the road. I see 500 meters away from my car. That's how I don't know. My vision is like that. So it will always happen that I will go and ride a hump with a high speed. And rather than apologetic, I'll get more angry. Man, what is this? Why is this hump is coming? As if the hump was suddenly come. And I used to say this hump is. I'm feeling so embarrassed to say this, but I have done it. So when I messed up, let me say you how much I have messed up in my life. So you go on that, ramp it up on that hump, and then I'll get angry. You mean where is this hump is coming? This all the government don't have any idea. This all blue, and obviously my wife is sitting beside me, and when this car jumps like this, there is chance of injury, man. Come on, if somebody is doing some work, mobile can drop, something can happen. So what she'll say? And why don't you see and drive? Is he saying wrong thing? No. Immediately what happened? I'll blow up. I'll show anger. This is not my fault, somebody else's fault. Then what do you do? Cover up. What do you cover up? Oh man, this hump should have some white lines. It should have some white lines. Then what will happen? Our happy tour, which me and my wife are traveling peacefully, now this happy tour is becoming a unnecessary stressful tour. Then what will do? Okay, then if she says him further up, then I'll speed up my car more. Okay, that's what you'll do. So after that, what happens? So first you'll blow up, then you will speed up. Then after blow up, you'll do speed up, cover up and speed up. And what you do now? Now this argument, it starts with your error. Somebody gave you feedback, you got angry, and after getting angry, what you do now? You are actually attacking on the person and you're covering up, you're speeding up. And after speed up, what you do? You'll do backup, you'll do some backup plan. And then I will argument, counter arguments, all these things will happen. Finally, what will happen? You will give up. And now this is just a case of argument. Check it out. Same thing in career point of view. You can try something, so all of us will go through. If at all we are in this cycle of failure, this is a step which you always can remember. So write it down slowly. The first is we all will do mess up. And this, if you want to know the origin of this book, this is one of my favorite book by John Maxwell, Failing Forward. You can go through it. It has been explained in minute detail, and I love it. It's my favorite book. One of my top 10 favorite book is Failing Forward. So if you want to read it, you should read it. It's an amazing book. So it talks about mess up. So first we'll mess up, then we'll blow up. After blowing up, we'll cover up, and after cover up, we'll speed up, and after speed up, we'll back up, and after back up, we'll give up. In this entire cycle, nothing good can happen. I can assure you, nothing good can happen. Then you will say, then what to do? Best option, if you really want to take maximum mileage out of your failure, then what you need to do is you need to wake up. You say, what do you mean by wake up? Yep, wake up. Rather than getting into all this thing, give up and going away, why don't we wake up? And I'll give 5 for 6 similar. If you want to fail forward, the messages which people give to us when we are failing, so we always get messages, trust me, sometimes it is sarcasm, sometimes it is genuine message. It's up to you that you take this message and change yourself for a betterment, or you take this message and become bitter and attack on people. As I told you yesterday, I was covering the story of Langley. Now those were coming as sarcastic remarks. In English, you cannot stop. So what exactly is now? Let's see the same cycle of Langley will go through in the same failing forward. What happened? So he started this. He launched his first airplane. Then what happened? He messed up. Obviously, his flight did not went away. People commented on him. Then what did he do? After messing up, he blew up. He might have got angry. He said, "We'll do it." He challenged, and then he covered up. And a lot of circle. All of us has gone through the same cycle again and again and again, and that becomes a cause that we don't succeed. So what you'll do? So first, take these messages. So I'll give you now 6 to 7 formulas which you can use to transform this failure into success. Any messages you are getting, first decode it. Okay, if you feel somebody is trying to give it negative intent, now what is negative intent? What is positive intent? Let me give you an example. Feedback versus criticism. Let's take an example. I do something wrong, and somebody talks to me one-on-one politely. Vijay, I think there's a scope of improvement. I believe you can do this. I thought this is not sarcasm. This is not comment. Now imagine the same person, rather than giving feedback one-on-one, he's giving feedback to me in public. He's attacking on me. What does this mean? This means he's trying to take out some revenge on me, which is fine. I mean, I cannot stop it. The world is open. But I know this is coming from a different interest. Somebody dropping me a one-on-one message, it makes sense because it's out of courtesy. Somebody's trying to give me, and I always appreciate one-on-one messages because I know one-on-one messages are genuine messages, because otherwise somebody would not have sent me a one-on-one message. So that is always acceptable. That means the message comes. If I, in that case, what I'll do, I'll take this message as a feedback in my life. So rule number one: if messages are coming, take those messages as a feedback in your life. If you feel it is relevant, if you feel it is genuine, then apply it. If you feel it is not genuine, it's okay. Move on. Second step: interruptions. So obviously, whenever there's a failure, what happens? There's always certain interruptions. So take these interruptions as a cause to reflect and think. Check it out. Anytime my project has failed or something happened which I wanted the way I wanted to do, if it has not happened that way, those interruptions I have taken as a reflection time. Check it out. Let me give a live example. So when I was failing during my gate exam, when it was the time of 2004 to 2 to 4, when I was preparing for my gate exam and I was failing, what can I do? This is a reflection time. I can sit and understand, okay, what else can I learn from it? That was a lesson of tenacity. That was a lesson of failing forward, actually. And once I took this I can take it as interruptions, can be taken as a time to reflect and think about your personality, think about your strength, think about your weaknesses, think about your area of improvement. That's what you can do. Third thing, there are certain signposts. Just like you're going on a highway, there will be certain signposts, right? Will show you, okay, Hebal 5 kilometers, or this in that direction, take left. Those are like signposts. Similarly, when you're failing, everything they say, right? Success leaves clue. Similarly, failures leaves clue. Anything which is happening, there are signposts. Only thing is, when we are in a hurry, we are not able to see those signposts, and that becomes a problem for all of us, actually. So what you do, those signposts are actually directing us towards the right path. I assure you, in your journey, God will send some messenger in your life who will come from nowhere, and he will become a signpost for you. I have met those messengers in my life. When I was looking for entrepreneurship, I got some signposts. When I started my coaching business, I got certain signposts. I met John Maxwell, I met Paul Martinelli. I started meeting different mentors in my life. They started coming and act as a signpost in my life. They started showing me direction. Move north. You are in the right direction. No, you're taking wrong direction. Move, come side, come left side, come right side. It was always this struggle of moving on. That means, again, I repeat those 3 points. First, when you're failing, there are certain messages which will come to your life. Decode those messages, understand those messages, and take those messages as the feedback in your life. Don't take it as a criticism or this. And how to identify something as criticism versus something as feedback? Somebody is attacking on you in public, somebody is trying to harass you. That means it is not a feedback. That is some frustration which they're trying to take it out. It's okay. Don't take it personally. It's relaxed. Be okay. It's okay. Whatever they're doing, let them do. Second, interruptions which are coming the way you want to do. Let's say you want to do it fast. You want to do it in 1 year, but things are not happening in 1 year. Certain things are stopped. It is not working. Rather than getting irritated, you can actually take those interruptions time. Live example I'll give you. Just last week, we had our second dose of vaccine. And Gitika and me were filling this form. And she knows I'm quite impatient in this area. I mean, when I'm working on the internet, I want things to just click like this. I cannot have patience to wait for it. It will scroll and all. And while filling that form on the COVID website, the date of birth comes. And date of birth somehow, I mean, they're not allowed to type us. You have to go 1 month at a time, 1 month at a time. It was 2021, and I have to go to 1978. First time I was like feeling to throw away this laptop. I was that angry. But then I realized no point. These interruptions I cannot control. So I politely sat like this, and I'm just with this buttons I'm doing left. And Giti asking, what happened to you? Why are you so relaxed? Then what I said to him, I cannot say you right now, but I said, any things are going wrong, so better enjoy the journey. What else can I do? And just I sat for 45 seconds, I'm just taking this button politely and doing like this. Okay, left. Okay, it came. I enjoyed it. What to do? What else is the option? If this code has been designed in such a way that I cannot enter manually, I have faced it multiple times. The date of birth I cannot enter manually. You have to wait. What is the point in getting irritated? You would have got irritated, then Gitika would have got upset, I would have got upset, both of would have got upset, and our entire afternoon would have been wasted. I said, it's fine, move on. Then what happens? These interruptions you can take as time to reflect and think peacefully. Enjoy it. Interruptions are also important in life. Better, those interruptions times you can use. Interruption time when I'm outside and waiting in a queue, I am a person who used to break queues like left, right, and center. I did not have patience to be on queues. Slowly, one day I read from one of the book by John Maxwell. He says, your interruptions times can be time to read books. And I said, that's awesome. I purchased a Kindle, and wherever I go, I carry my Kindle with me. So if there is 15 minutes of queue, I take out my Kindle, start investing my 15 minutes in reading time. Amazing. Trust me. And the book gave an analogy that interruptions time itself in your entire life will be more than 5 years. 5 years of interruption times. Under normal circumstances, I'm talking about where you'll be waiting on some queue, you'll be waiting on, you go to barber shop, you have to wait for 15-20 minutes. They said that 5 years of human life will go in waiting. Now 5 years of human life goes in waiting. Do you know how many books can be completed during that time? Just interruption times. Interruption time, if you read one page in 5 minutes, 20 minutes interruption time is 4 pages. Huge. One book is of 250 pages. Think upon it. In a month, just you use interruption time, you can read for one book a month easily without any extra effort. Only thing you have to be alert. If you can take this one point this week and apply it, you will see interruptions are awesome for your life. Actually, they're awesome. Don't worry about it. Then signpost will come. They will direct us towards the right path. And we have to take them if you are mature enough. Third thing, they will test to push us towards to get maturity. Life will test us. Something is the way you want it is not happening. That is the test of our maturity, that how much can we handle those things which are going against our interest. And then you will get certain keys that will unlock the door. And many a times, we are not in a position to accept those keys. It has happened with everybody. That keys are coming, but we are not in a position to take that keys. I remember a story. I don't know where I read, but it's a good story I read long time back. That there was a village which was struggling from rain. There was no rainwater, so it was like total dryness and nothing was going good. So the entire village started praying. They started praying to God, "Oh God, please give us rain, please give us rain." And the small child, he came up with an umbrella. And they said, "Man, why have you come with umbrella?" He said, "Man, you guys are all praying for rain. What if the rain starts coming? I mean, you don't even believe rain will come." That is what exactly I'm trying to say right now. That keys will come in our life. Many times we are not in a position to open the lock. And that happens to all of us. And then finally, if you are willing to open up yourself, then you explore this journey together. So that is what I wanted to cover today. And then end you with a very simple poem. This poem is by Portia Nelson. Amazing poem. You can search this in Google, you'll find this an amazing poem. Portia Nelson's poem, 5 short chapters, autobiography in 5 short chapters. And I'll end you with this poem. But before I end, let me wrap it up and let me see if anybody is online and if we can talk for some time. I would like to see if I see 15-20 people online right now. So why don't you say hello? Ram is there. Ram from US is there already. Hello, Ram. You are quite regular, very nice. If anybody else is there, I would like to talk for some time. Then I'll end you this. So let's wrap up. So what I said, there are cycles in failure. We all go through this 7-step cycle. We mess up things. After messing up, our natural tendency is to blow up. And after blowing up, we'll cover up. After covering up, we'll speed up. We'll go in the wrong direction for longer period of time to prove our ego. And after speeding up, we'll back up. And from back up, we'll get frustrated and we'll give up. This cycle, if you get into it, you will be unnecessarily wasting your potential. The solution is not giving up. Solution is waking up. And how do you wake up? You wake up when you understand these 6 simple steps. That first and foremost, messages are coming. Somebody will give you messages. Those messages, you take it as a feedback rather than as a criticism. Now, some people criticize you. You should know how to identify criticism versus feedback. That's I covered. Second thing I told, those interruptions are the reflection time for you. Third thing, there will be certain signposts which will come. You have to be in a position to decode those signposts. And then life will test you. It will push you hard. The only way you can build your muscles is by pushing, right? You cannot build your muscle by just doing nothing. Similarly, life will prepare you with all these hardships and they will test you. They'll build you up. Actually, that's how you build up. And then there'll be awakening that keeps you in the mental game. And to do all this thing, I'll end you with this poem by Portia Nelson, that 5 chapters, autobiography in 5 short chapters. Chapter 1. I walk down the street. That is chapter 1. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost, but I'm helpless. It isn't my fault. And it takes forever to find out a road. Isn't it true? You fall in somewhere and you blame, man, this is not my fault. This is government's fault. This is society's fault. You will be lifelong in the trap. You keep blaming, nothing will happen. That is chapter 1 of your life. All of us will go through this, all 5 chapters. Chapter 2. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. It happens to all of us, right? We pretend that we have not seen any of these errors, but we pretend. Then I fall in it and I can't believe I am in that same hole again. And it's still not my fault. It will take lifelong to get out of it. In chapter 2 also you cannot get out. Because chapter 2, what happens? You're pretending, you fall down and you still realize, shit, man, why am I falling it out? This is government's fault. They should take care of it and whatsoever it is. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in it. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. The day you understand it's my fault, you get out immediately. So chapter 4 is your awakening. You get out immediately in chapter 3. Chapter 4 is interesting. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. That is a permanent solution. I walk down another street. That is how you have to handle failure, folks. So I'm sure this series you might have helped a lot. And next week, I will start a new series on intentional living. So this entire series on failure, I just gave a trailer in this 5 days. My entire failure course is getting launched in August. I'm launching a new course on failure, which will be very soon available on website of mine. You can go and purchase it. I just gave you a small trailer. And if you want to take this free gift in my YouTube, you can go through it and watch it, because I'll be removing it on Tuesday for sure. Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to remove it, so you can watch it out. And then next week, we are going to start a brand new series. I will talk tomorrow also on failure, and one more chapter I'll add up before I close up this failure series. Intentional living is my next week's talk. If you want to understand how to live an intense life, how to live a life of intentionality rather than good intentions, this is the next week we'll talk more about it. And I'm sure it was great talking to all of you. I see some of you are there. If anybody want to add anything which you learned today, why don't you share excitement before I log out? If one or two lines, if you can add what you learned today in this session, what was your biggest takeaway in this 25 minutes which we discussed right now? Why didn't you guys share? I would love to know before I check out from this place. So let us see if somebody can see what did you learn. What was the biggest takeaway today? If you are watching it right now live, I would like to see some comments. What was your biggest takeaway? What did you like most by being part of this series? Or if you like something yesterday also, or day before yesterday, something I would like to know. Anybody else is there? I can see some comments coming up. It takes fraction of seconds. So that is good. Subramanian is there. Abdul is there. Great. So just before I check out, I think we are done for the day. 10 seconds more before I get a message. Otherwise, I'll check it out right away. All right. I see some comments coming up. And by the way, before people are posting some comments, let me give you, if you have not taken up my ebook, I will send you my ebook. You can subscribe to my ebook right away. That will give you, and if you're not part of my podcast channel, you can subscribe to my podcast. Here are the two links I'm giving you right away. So you can use it. You can download this ebook, which I've given to you. You can download this ebook. And you can also subscribe to my mailing list. And on top of it, if you want, you can also be part of my channel and YouTube channel. You can subscribe. All this thing, I think. Mohammed Said. Thank you, Mohammed. Energy is passed of this. Excellent analogy related to KHR. Very nice. That analogy can help you, Said. I'm so happy you liked it. Great. Anybody else? If it is there, I can add some more comments because they're online right now before I wind out. All right. Anybody else? So you can download this book, and you can also subscribe to my mailing list. So I send on a regular basis some mails, some updates on my upcoming courses which I'm launching. So you guys can always get more out of it. Great. So it was great talking to all of you. If you're watching it later on recording part, do post your learning, what you liked being part of this show. And if any topic you believe I should cover in my Monday evening show, let me know. I can compile new content out for your benefit. If you feel some content which can help you grow in your life, let me know. I'll plan out something for you. It was great talking to all of you. And before I check out, have a great evening. Thank you so much.